I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky.
Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury?
What's up with Angel Reese, man? There's a pattern with this whole injury thing.
The rumor that started as a joke is becoming more and more obvious every day, so maybe it's time to ask, where is Angel Reese?
She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break.
It looks like Angel Reese wants out, y'all. Angel Reese seems to be looking for a way out of the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Sky.
Being honest, maybe more reason why she's out right now might be secretly shopping her. They're not secretly shopping her. You don't fake back injuries.
The back injury storyline first popped up after July 29th, and ever since, the Sky's official update has been just 2 words: day to day. Week after week, that label stays the same. No diagnosis, no rehab timeline, no answers. And yet, she's been spotted looking perfectly fine at public appearances, standing for hours, smiling for cameras, promoting her brand new Reebok signature shoe. To some fans, that's just Angel being Angel, still hustling off the court. But to her critics, it's proof she's healthy enough for the spotlight, just not for the grind of a regular season game. And every day she's missing, the questions get louder.
What is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, you have to have some level of...
If this feels familiar, that's because it is. This is now the 3rd straight season Angel Reese hasn't finished what she started. Back in 2023, it was the must-fix-now wrist injury, a dramatic announcement about surgery to prevent arthritis before she even turned 25. Big headlines, big sympathy, then nothing. No comeback attempt. Fast forward to now, and it's the same movie with a different injury. This time, there's no footage of a fall, no awkward landing, no visible moment where her back took a hit. Just a sudden disappearance and a season once again left hanging in the air. At some point, bad luck starts to look like a pattern, and people around the league are noticing.
And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day. And every week, there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese.
She's been through this before. Vanish mid-season, no comeback attempt, no last push to help her team finish strong. Back in 2023, the wrist injury took her out completely. And now in 2025, it's a back injury so vague it's almost comical. There's no defining play, no slow-motion replay where you see her wince in pain. It just appeared, like a magic trick nobody asked for. And yet, we keep hearing the same recycled lines from the team. She's day to day. The problem is day to day has somehow turned into week to week, and now month to month. It's not just the injury that's suspicious, it's the way it drifts in without a clear start and lingers without an end.
If we're gonna be honest, we've seen everybody else that's injured, we've seen their injury. And we have also had updates and heard stuff about their injury. We've seen Caitlyn injury. We've seen Nafisa injury. We've seen Breonna Stewart injury. We've seen Ryan Howard injury. We've seen Jordan Canada injury. We've seen Kate Martin like last night get it. Like, we've seen a lot of these injuries. We've seen Eric McDonald. We've seen Sydney Colson. We've seen and we've gotten updates. We didn't see Angel injury. We haven't heard no updates to anything.
And here's where it gets even harder to ignore: the timing. These injuries never seem to happen in the middle of a hot streak. They pop up right after tough losses or personal slumps, almost like clockwork. Call it bad luck if you want, but after a while, the coincidences start stacking into a pattern. She even missed the much-hyped Sky Versus Fever game in Indianapolis, the one everyone circled on their calendars because of her rivalry with Caitlin Clark. Instead of the showdown fans wanted, we got another vague rehabbing update. And the conversation shifted from when she'll return to if she even wants to.
Like she is asking for a trade. Or she's at least implying she wants to be traded. Because at the end of the day, you just never know.
And while she's been out, something strange has been happening. The Sky have actually looked better. They're 1-10 without Angel Reese this season, which sounds brutal on paper, but if you actually watch the games, the ball moves cleaner, the offense flows, and players cut to the basket without feeling like they have to feed the same star every possession. It's not just a stat thing. It's a chemistry thing. And the awkward truth for her camp is this. People are starting to wonder if her absence is less of a setback and more of a reset.
In between turnovers and giving up 25 points off these turnovers.
Yeah, it's never an excuse. The proof is in the details of what's been the difference in our wins and losses, and a lot of it turns into the ability to take care of the ball. And so it's never an excuse. Teams bring pressure. You got to handle the pressure. And so but our locker room is full of professional basketball players. They understand the importance of it. It's just a matter of doing it.
Still, numbers don't lie, and some of hers this season have been hard to defend. Before the All-Star break, she was shooting just 28% on layups. Layups, the one shot every player is supposed to finish with their eyes closed. Then, almost like flipping a switch, her production spiked right after the public started roasting her, and early All-Star votes had her sitting way down at 13th. It's as if the fear of losing a popularity contest lit a fire that pure competitiveness couldn't. And while the turnaround was impressive, it left people wondering why it took outside pressure for her to finally lock in.
You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season.
This isn't the first time an injury story has felt like deja vu. In 2023, it was the wrist, season-ending, dramatic, framed as the only way to avoid long-term damage. The sympathy poured in, but there was no talk of pushing through for the team. No hint of a late-season return. Fast forward to now, and the script is eerily similar. Right in the middle of the season, she's suddenly out with a mysterious back issue. The official status, day-to-day. The reality, months without a game. And the phrase, day-to-day, repeated so often it's lost all meaning.
We've seen different tactics being used. Is Angel Reese trying to get traded, bro? Are you trying to get traded, Angel?
What really fuels the skepticism is the contrast between her absence from games and her presence everywhere else. When All-Star Weekend rolled around, there she was, on camera, smiling, posing for photos, laughing with other players. No sign of discomfort, no hesitation to stand or move around. But the moment the regular season schedule resumes, the back problems return like clockwork. It's hard to convince fans you're too hurt to play when you look perfectly fine, doing everything but playing. And that's why convenient has become the word most people are using to describe her injury timeline.
I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard. I think she's using her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is living the exact opposite storyline. She's dealing with a very real, very visible groin injury, and the kind everyone saw happen in real time. There's no mystery about when or how it happened, no endless guessing games. And even though she's hurt, she's still traveling with the fever, still locked in on the bench, breaking down plays, hyping up teammates, and averaging 16.5 points with nearly 9 assists a night. That's not just production, that's leadership. You don't see her disappearing into the shadows when things get rough.
Making her money in stat padding, but she can't handle losing. I should have known. It's the same pattern with her. Last year she had a wrist problem. This year she got a back problem. Next year what it's gonna be? Lord knows what it's gonna be. But all her 5 million followers that badly voted for her to be on the WNBA All-Star team, please don't try to convince us that quitting is the way to go, because it is not. Quitting is unacceptable. She quit on Unrivaled because her team was losing. She quit on Maryland. You hear me? And I'm pretty sure she would have quit on LSU if they wasn't stacked.
And that's where the comparisons get brutal for Angel Reese. People have started whispering, and in some cases shouting, that she might be sitting out to protect her image and her stats. Nobody wants to see her shoot 3 for 14 in a blowout loss. But rather than risk that, the theory goes she just steps away and lets the PR machine spin it into a rehab story. Analysts have even compared it to Kawhi Leonard's load management. Except Kawhi has medical proof to back it up. With Reese, there's nothing but vague updates and growing doubt.
I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that, and now she said, hey, the Chicago Sky sucked this year, peace out.
The All-Star race only made that narrative louder. She was sitting at 13th in early fan voting. A gut punch for someone branding herself as one of the faces of the league. Then, almost overnight, she turned into a different player, going on a 10-game tear to boost her numbers and lock in her All-Star spot. And as soon as she got it, that urgency vanished. It's not the mentality of someone obsessed with winning, it's the mentality of someone obsessed with the optics of winning. And once people see it that way, it's hard to unsee.
Remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games.
And nothing screamed optics over competition louder than the Indiana snub. She skipped the Sky versus Fever rivalry game, the one matchup the whole league was buzzing about, citing the same back injury that's kept her sidelined. Yet, just weeks earlier, she was in that very same city for All-Star Weekend, smiling for cameras and making media rounds without any sign of discomfort. So the back can handle the travel when endorsements are involved, but not when it's about facing Caitlin Clark. To her critics, that was all the confirmation they needed. To her fans, it was just bad timing. Either way, the damage was done, and the whispers turned into full-blown conversation.
Playing games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is nuts.
That's when her image as the franchise cornerstone started to crack. Branding seemed to take center stage, while basketball slid into the background. And the irony? The team's chemistry actually looked cleaner without her. Bad stretches would be followed by public criticism, and like clockwork, the mysterious injury would surface. The day-to-day label would appear. Fans would argue. She'd stay in street clothes for weeks, yet still show up to the sponsor events that fit her brand. It wasn't just predictable. It was starting to feel like a business model.
There's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day-to-day.
Facts. Facts. Hey, Whitlock, take this pot. Keep cooking. Keep cooking. Stir the pot.
And that's the harsh truth her biggest supporters hate hearing. The Chicago Sky without Angel Reese sometimes look like an actual basketball team. The ball moves. The guards run the offense instead of standing around waiting to dump it inside for a tough, contested shot. The wings cut harder. Spacing actually exists. Possessions don't die because the ball is glued to one pair of hands. It's not just one person's opinion. Multiple commentators have been saying it for weeks. And when enough voices start echoing the same thing, it's no longer just a hot take, it's a storyline.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break.
The numbers make it sting even more. In the past 2 seasons, the Indiana Fever have beaten the Chicago Sky 7 times out of 8. 7 wins, 1 loss, and one of those wins came without Caitlin Clark even playing. Indiana still blew them out by 22 points. To make matters worse, it wasn't even the Fever's stars doing most of the damage. Lexi Hull, a role player who doesn't get half the spotlight, dropped 17 points that night and finished with a plus 22 rating. For Chicago, that's not just a bad loss, that's humiliation. The kind you don't shake off by the next game.
We have to be real. The management has been terrible. Jeff P, horrible. Tyler Marsh has been bad. But like I said, he doesn't have much talent on the team, so we don't know if he can actually coach or not. Now, why is people saying, is Angel Reese trying to force her way out of Chicago? Is she done with this organization already in just her second year? And it is a great question. I don't know if man, I think you got to move somebody. Cardoso, you have to get a influx of talent.
And here's the scary part for Reese. More and more people believe her style of play actually makes the Sky easier to guard. When she's out, there's no predictable post-up to clog the paint, no constant feeding of one player. Defenses can't just camp out waiting for her to muscle her way inside. They have to adjust, move, and think a little harder because the offense becomes less predictable. That's why the phrase addition by subtraction keeps popping up. When your absence makes your team harder to defend, that's not just a bad look. That's a career-defining red flag.
No one's going to call her out on that. I came to this conclusion this weekend when I watched the Indiana Fever destroy the Chicago Sky in Indianapolis on Saturday.
And if the on-court debate wasn't enough, the off-court drama kept adding fuel to the fire. Remember the Gamebridge Fieldhouse incident? Reese reposted claims that it was unsafe for her to be there. It sounded intense, like there'd been some major confrontation. But when the details came out, it turned out to be nothing more than noise in the arena blown completely out of proportion. Still, she doubled and tripled down, framing herself as the victim. To her critics, it felt like she was manufacturing a controversy to justify avoiding a game she didn't want to play.
You have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realize...
And here's the part that makes her entire injury story even harder to buy. We've already seen proof she can still play at a high level. In one brief return this season, she dropped 20 points in a game, moving like nothing was wrong. So if the ability is still there, why the disappearing act? 3 straight years of untimely injuries have turned what used to be bad luck into a reputation. The kind no athlete wants. It's the reverse of a clutch gene, the ghost gene. And if she doesn't change the narrative soon, that might be the label that sticks.